Episode number 102 of the Shant and Ari podcast. Shant, how you feeling tonight, big guy?
Feeling good, man. Just got home, did some cardio today. I've been on a Stairmaster kick,
Ooh,
just 40 minutes a day, 4 days a week.
40 minutes, whole minutes per day.
Yeah.
How do your calves feel?
They're fine. But yeah, I mean, it's rough at first, but once you get used to it, it's kind of chill. I don't go on like a super high fucking, like speed, but you still sweat so much, man.
It's funny because I was trying to like find the best cardio to do while weightlifting. And it seems like it's it's right up there with like walking. So like you can go at like your own pace or whatever, and you don't feel like it's interfering with recovery. The only issue that I have with Stairmaster, especially a week, four times a week, can you do legs?
Yeah.
You personally, like it's not like too much to do legs and the Stairmaster. You know what I mean? Like right now, my quads are fucking sore, like miserable. I can't imagine getting on the Stairmaster.
No, you could do it. You could do it. I do it. You should be fine.
Why do you sound like you just got an offer for like a house that you're trying to sell? What's going on over there in Arizona?
No, something popped up like fucking 5 text messages from this one person. And I was just like, Jesus Christ.
So yeah, very, very interesting. 4 times a week, 40 minutes each time. How's your weightlifting? How's that go? Can you tell me a little bit? What's your routine right now?
So obviously I have a trainer right now and it's been going really good, man. I'm down 8 pounds in the past like 2-3 months, but mostly it's been like the past like 3 weeks. It's been like, yeah, because I've been cardio and like been really good on my calories and my macros, like my fats, my proteins, carbs.
Tell me about that a little bit.
So I have like, hang on, let me pull up my spreadsheet because I track it every day.
While you're pulling that up, are you doing a meal prep right now, or are you just plugging in your own food?
Plugging in my own food.
Okay.
So right now I'm averaging for calories around 2,000 calories a day.
That's it.
156 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 72 grams of fat a day.
I would imagine that you would eat more calories. Why are you trying to do an aggressive like fat loss?
Yeah.
Are you fat? I don't understand what's happening right now.
No, just like, the midsection, it's like typical Armo midsection, right?
How long do you think you'll be on 2,000 calories?
I think another month or two. I feel fine. I mean, if you think about it, I was eating 1 meal a day. So I was like probably less, like I was around that anyway. So right now I eat a smoothie in the morning, then lunch, then dinner, smoothie at night. So I'm getting,
Bro, I'm running on like 2,600, 2,700 calories. And that's light for me right now. I don't understand.
But are you bulking? Are you trying to bulk up?
Right now I'm doing 20 right now for this cycle. I'm doing 2,250 to 2,300 in a cut. And I've actually lost some weight from that.
Okay.
So the issue is for me, I can't be under 2,200, 2,300 calories without getting the proper amount of protein. Like they say 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I'm 182 pounds. Like if I eat as clean as possible, like no red meat protein.
Yeah.
I'm still up there. I'm at like 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
With the chicken alone is like 1,000 calories. So I'm like, it's tough. But you're just trying to maintain whatever you have and just lose fat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to lose fat. I mean, I've gained So for a while, I was leaning out in my midsection. I was losing, inches on the waist, but my weight was still going, like it was actually going up. So I started around like 233. I got up to 235.5, and I was like, shit, but I was like leaning out. Like I was losing a lot of fat, and I was lifting pretty hard. So we down the calories a little bit, down the protein just a little bit, and the fats. That's the big thing. Was I lowered the fats. I was going from 80 grams to 90 grams. Now I'm down to like 60-ish grams.
Can you explain why you would reduce the protein if you're trying to? The issue is the way that I understand it. Explain it to me, because you obviously have a lot more experience building muscle than I do. You would know. Um, in a cut, it would make more sense to do more protein, and in a bulk, you would do you wouldn't need as much protein because carbs have a protein sparing effect. Now, what Shant's doing is, I get it. He's sorry to go third person right now. What he's doing is he's in a cut. He's not necessarily trying to maintain muscle, or sorry, he's not trying to build muscle. He's trying to maintain muscle. And to maintain muscle, you may not actually need 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. The interesting thing to me is that he's been doing this for so long, that it's almost like his body knows. So, Sean, what I'm saying is, do you
Yeah.
think that your body knows to a certain degree we're going to maintain this muscle with 150 or 160 grams of protein? It should be an adequate enough protein to maintain muscle. Would you say that it's not an adequate enough amount of protein to build muscle?
Yeah, I don't. The honest answer, I don't know. I'm trusting my coach, right? And he's training me, right? And doing my nutrition and stuff like that. So it's working, right? And I'm still gaining muscle. Like I feel more muscular than I have in probably 3 years. So whatever it is, it's working. I don't know. I could ask him like what his thought process is, because and I usually should be. I usually try to like, hey, give me the science behind what we're doing. I've just been so busy in these past like few weeks, and he's been like dropping this, adding this, doing this. I'm just like, hey, whatever you do, just tell me, I'll do it. And then so I haven't really figured out why we've gone this route.
Here's my thing. And I don't mean to turn this whole podcast episode, because this is stuff that's just really, really interesting me right now. Like it's on the forefront of my brain all the time. Protein in a cut is drastically necessary. Like you need protein, because what you're doing is in a cut, because you're restricting calories, and you don't have as much fat and carbs, your body is naturally going to want to break down muscle if it doesn't have an adequate amount of protein.
Yeah.
So with that being said, when you're on a bulk, you don't need as much protein because carbs and fat have a muscle preserving effect. Your body is getting the energy it needs from the carbs, not so much the protein. And the existing protein that you are eating is going purely for muscle building. So I would be very, very interested to find out how your nutritionist is calculating that. If your intention also includes building lean muscle while in a calorie deficit, which very interesting to me. I don't think it's necessarily that easy. I think if you've got the additional body fat on you, maybe, but if you're lean, like very, very lean, it's impossible to gain.
Yeah, I'm not very lean. I'm not like I have a lot. I have fat on me. Maybe we should bring him on, right? Maybe we should bring him on and chat it up with him.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to talk with nutritionists, find out how they come up with like their calories. Because like my trainer before, yeah, he knew his exercises, knew what he was doing. But I'm like, how many calories should I eat? He goes, 2,000. I'm like what should I be eating?
Like, how'd you come up with that? Like,
Get your 1 gram of protein per. I'm like, you clearly do not write meal plans, huh? Just telling me like this is what I would do. Okay, what would you do?
yeah, there's science behind it because I know like he's been testing a lot. Like he'll be like, all right, 2 weeks, let's try this, let's see what happens, how your body responds. Um, so I think there's not one size fits all for everyone, right? It's everyone is so different in our metabolisms, and he's been like, okay, how did you react with this? He asked me a lot of questions, and then we he switches it up depending on how I answer and how my body's reacting. So there's not a one size fits all, man. But yeah, I think we should get him on and just talk about like, because it's interesting. How do you come up with these formulas? Like, what is it like? Um, yeah, it's just.
Can I give you just my honest take on this whole thing? Because I've been fucking around a lot with macros and what to eat and how much to eat, and obviously I'm trying to build as much muscle as I possibly can. So I definitely go by 1 gram per pound of body weight for protein, and I've been following as much as possible, as much as I can. I'm not a big fan of fat, dietary fat. I should be. I'm not. I'm more of a fan of carbs. So they say that zero point 0.4 grams per pound of body weight should be your target for fat. So if we go by 185-pound man, that would go about 74 grams of fat, right? So that sounds pretty much in line with where you're at, right? You said
No.
70. Where are you at? Sorry.
So my target needs to be so. Let me read this. So my target is 1,800 to 2,100 calories a day, 180 grams of protein a day, 200 grams of carb max, 65 to 68 grams of fat max. So
you're not at 0.4. You're probably at like 0.3 or something like that.
Yeah. So it's interesting. My protein is definitely not 1 pound because I would be at 220 grams of protein, which I was. He had me first at that, and then he scaled it back. So I'm sure he had a reason to do it. He probably even told me. I probably wasn't paying attention.
That's
So
0.8 grams per pound. What you're at right now, 0.8, which is about right for maintenance. And even building, some people say 0.8, some people say 1. Did he take lean body mass measurements off you?
no, because he doesn't live here. So it's like yeah, can't do that. He just for my waist, my measurements for my waist and stuff. He was just like, can you just get me your waist measure and stuff like that?
That's pretty cool that you're doing that, man. So what's your end goal? What do you want to do? You want to be like the coolest 40-year-old dad?
Yeah, I want to be in better shape, man. As I get older, I want to be healthy. I don't want to be a fucking bodybuilder, but I want to just be super healthy. I want to be in good shape. I want to be lean. I want to get a lot of fat off my body so I could be running around and stuff and not feel like back pain, knee pain, foot pain. What is your like ultimate goal?
So you guys might find this a little bit crazy. I'm actually very, very curious to find out if it's possible, if it's feasible for somebody in their mid to late 30s, early 40s to still become a bodybuilder. So, and don't laugh at me about this because I know it sounds kind of funny, but I'm not trying to compete. I'm trying to actually look like a bodybuilder. And a lot of people tell me, yeah, it's definitely still possible at my age. But even if I wasn't at my age, even if I was in my 20s and I went as far as I could with being natural, it's very, very difficult to get bodybuilder level without taking steroids. So basically what I'm saying is that I really would love to be in contest shape.
It's a lot though, man. It's very like got to be super.
It is. I'm not trying to actually compete. I'm just trying to get to somewhat to that level, just not as low of a body fat percentage. Like I'd love to look like Arnold did. Put it that way.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He, put it this way, he didn't look impossibly big. Like you see some of these bodybuilders now, it's like, what the fuck is that? You know? And let's be honest here, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Franco Columbu, they weren't the biggest bodybuilders to exist, but they were in the fucking 1970s. And some of them were taking steroids, but they weren't taking the shit that people are taking now. You know, they didn't have that kind of chemistry back then. Yeah, Russia was probably pumping out some fucking crazy shit, but they're pumping out crazier shit now.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that's my goal. That's my end goal. It's just I don't know how possible it is. And people love to use the genetics card, right? And it's like, okay, like listen, people talk about this shit all the time. They talk about, oh, I've been told I have shitty genetics, but I still did it. Yeah, maybe they did use testosterone. Maybe they did use some form of anabolic steroid, but they still did it. So their genetics did, in fact, help them. Same way that people with shitty genetics took steroids and they got to where they needed to do. Eventually, you're going to have to take steroids, is what I keep on getting told. I'm not going to take steroids, but I am willing to take testosterone if it comes, when it does come to that point.
When it's necessary, yeah. So let's talk about the topic about, and talk about your real quick about hiring, firing, training experience while I go to this. Yeah, just keep going. I can hear you.
So just some backstory. Shant's been being a dad, and he's doing it very, very well. Right now, he's juggling the podcast and taking care of a sick kid and a newborn. So I think that it's very, very funny. This past couple of weeks, I've been very stressed out, but I think I've been handling it pretty well. I have a couple new employees. Thank God that we actually have them, because we were having a lot of trouble finding help. But we have a couple new employees that I've been training, one in the morning and one in the daytime. One of them is, believe it or not, my old cafeteria lunch lady. She's been at the middle school for 35 years. Some of you that have gone to Watertown Middle, you'll probably recognize Maureen, one of the lunch ladies at Watertown Middle School. So she's at the store and she's super, super experienced. And a lot of people will wonder, well, oh, how is it when you hire somebody with a lot of experience? Hiring somebody with a lot of experience sometimes can be a blessing, and sometimes it can be a huge pain in the ass, because yes, you know, they'll know everything, but that in itself is also a huge problem. So she's been the type of person that hasn't had her head up her ass about how much she knows and how much experience she has, because she's probably had to deal with training people too. And sometimes it sucks, because I feel like I shouldn't be telling somebody with this much experience and this much age what to be doing, but she's been very, very receptive to, you know, wanting to know exactly how I do things and what is being done not wrong. And this is what is very, very interesting in the food business. It's not necessarily that some people do things wrong. We're just anal in the food business. I like to prepare stuff a certain way. My dad likes to prepare stuff a certain way. And depending on who's training who, sometimes we get caught in the crossfire of, Ari likes to do it this way, and John likes to do it this way. Which way is right? And hell, which way is right? No, it's not so much which way is right. It's who are you doing it in front of at that very moment? And that's typically when our employees get fucked, because it's like, okay, he taught me to do it this way, but your dad now is saying not to do it this way. You got to do it this way. And I'm just sitting there looking like, okay, listen to him, but when he leaves, you do it my way, okay?
Yeah, that must be confusing to them.
It's fucking confusing. Anyway, so what I like to do is I like to tell people, listen, meet us halfway. Just make sure that it kind of makes both of us happy, if you know what I mean. And I think a lot of them get it. So with that, with my old middle school lunch lady working for us, it's actually been going pretty smooth. I would assume that by now she would have known everything, but even now, it's been about almost 2 weeks,
Mm.
and she's taken a little bit longer than I hoped. And then there's this other kid. He's from Kenya, and um, usually I get a little bit worried because when there's somebody that there's a language barrier with, it's very, very difficult to train. And especially, okay, like I can sort of understand people with bad accents because like I grew up around it.
Yeah, that's everyone in our family.
But the problem is the person that he's working with speaks perfect English, and she's a white lady from here.
Yeah.
So sometimes when there's a communication barrier, it makes working a huge pain in the ass. The kid he speaks really, really good English. It's just I can't understand him that well,
Yeah.
especially because also he's wearing a mask. So I feel bad, but like every 2 seconds I'll have to ask him, "What did you say?" You know? And it
So,
sucks.
yeah. So when you're hiring someone, like, do you look for anything specific? Are you like what is your process?
So I typically, when I hire and I have 2 or 3 different roles in mind for the person. First and foremost, with this job, I like love when people have a good form of transportation. Number one, I'll give you some of my main requirements that I like. When I see it, I know this is either going to work or not work. I don't like people that smoke working. It's it's not so much that I mind if they smell. I don't like the fact that they got to leave. They got to be seen by other people smoking because I've been there. It's not a good look. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Um, the next one is if they don't have a good form of transportation, that gets in the way. If they have kids, that gets in the way. How far they live, that gets in the way. Um, Now, how much experience they have is not necessarily as important as it is how much are you willing to learn and how receptive you are to learning. How good is your English? It
So
sucks.
how do you know if someone has the willingness to learn? Because I experienced this today. I interviewed 2 people today to hop on our team for an agent, and they usually all say the right things, right? They all come with like, yeah, I want to hustle. I want to get after it. I want to, I want to learn. I want, I'm coachable, all these things. But how do you actually know? Because I'm a sucker. If someone like says the right things, I'm like, sold.
Yeah. Checked off all the boxes, huh?
Yeah.
No, you raise a really good point. That's a very, very good question. How do you know? How do you know that, and especially after a while, right? Like, okay, you conduct your first, second, third interview. It's like, okay. But then you find out later on, maybe a couple months, maybe a couple of years, that person was full of shit at the interview, right? But like after you do it so many times, you start to see like little cracks.
Patterns and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you sort of pick up on, hey, I don't think this person is really going to work. The way that I typically find out, it's very difficult to find out right then and there, and especially in the food business, we usually have a couple days where we tell them, listen, we want to try you out. We want to see if like you can handle it. The reason why I say handle it to them, and they completely understand. One of the issues that I tell them is like, listen, it can get very, very hectic. And I want you to also test us out to see if you can handle what you're about to go through. So the reason why I say a couple of roles, if I'm hiring you to do, salad bar prep, kitchen prep, all that stuff, it's trainable, but I prefer to find out from you if you're coming from a food background, or if you're a woman, or especially if you have some age on you. it's probably likely that you've cut up some vegetables at home, you know. But if you're a guy 18 to 25, you probably haven't fucking touched
No.
a single cucumber. Never. But it's likely that you've probably worked with your hands. You have a little bit of skill with your hands, or you're willing to learn. Like if you were willing to learn how to play basketball or soccer, you're probably willing to learn how to grill something. It's going to interest you a little bit. But if you come in there and first of all, you don't speak good English and you're very, very slow, like it's likely that you're probably not going to flip kebab as fast.
Yeah, and I know it may seem like, okay, it's not rocket science, right? Flipping kebab, cutting up veggies, but like I've worked at a pizzeria Friday night, Saturday night, bro. The intensity in that little fucking kitchen,
It gets lit. Yeah.
like you have to be quick. There's people waiting, phones ringing. It is just the people that are sitting down are asking for something, and you got 1,000 things going on. Like you got to be, quick to it. So yeah, the job is not difficult, right? Like it's not like a highly skilled job, but it's fast paced, man. When it's fast, right?
I consider it a sport. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
100%.
definitely I consider it like track and field, you know?
Yes, that's a good comparison. Even though I don't work in that industry, I have, but it's, yeah, like the dishwashers, they got to be fucking moving, right? The takeout people, the delivery people, they got to be, in and out. It's not easy, man. And you're right. When you get someone who's just their body just moving a little slower, they're speaking, it's a good probability that they're going to be moving slow and orders coming in. They're like, one thing at a time.
Yeah. Even if you put somebody on the register and they're taking phone orders, the likelihood of you getting an order taken very, very quickly, not looking too good. So I look for these sorts of things. I look for, is the person well groomed? How is their communication? How's the speed of their communication? Because I'm fucking impatient.
Yes.
But what were you screening for today? Why do you think that you might be a sucker? Is it because a lot of the people in real estate are highly, highly like bringing thunder into the thing,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you find out they're a complete bullshit artist?
So your audio went kind of crazy there. I heard what you said, but
sorry, I don't know why I decided to plug something in right now out of all times to.
Yeah, no. So usually people get into real estate because they want to make money, they want to hustle, they see it, especially new agents, right? So in their minds, it's like, yeah, I want to get after it. I want to do this, until they actually have to do the work. Then they're just like, wait, I have to call people. I have to like go do stuff. And then they become like, like a lot of agents don't make it because of that. Right. So like every time I meet someone, because, I bring on agents to our team, and yeah, they all sound good. Like they're all like, yeah, I want to get after it. I want to, I only sold 4 homes last year, but this is my year, right? Like I'm going to get at, I'm going to do this, or, hey, I just got in real estate. I'm hungry. I don't have anything. I don't have kids. I don't have family. I just want to work. You're like, fucking perfect, right? Because as long as someone is willing to work, they'll do well in real estate. But then they get in and it's just like, they freeze up. I'm always interested. Obviously, a lot of people talk about getting the disc profile, doing a disc assessment, right? Seeing where they're at, but I see a lot of people's discs are agents. A lot of them are, say, competitive, but are they really competitive, right? When it comes down to it, a lot of people aren't, I think, competitive. They just say they're competitive. So it's very difficult, man. Like I interviewed 2 people today and they seem great. And I'm just like, what am I missing? when I'm asking questions? What am I not, you know, am I not digging deep enough? And yeah, it's like sometimes out of scarcity, not for me, but like sometimes people are hiring, they're just like, I just need a body right now. Right. And then you're not looking for the red flags, you're just looking for the good flags. And you're like, okay, there's a few good flags. I just need a body right now. So scarcity comes in, right?
It's not good, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that hiring when you're kind of desperate is the worst because they sense it in you and they sort of value the position less because they see that like why doesn't anybody else want it? And that's not necessarily true. It's just right now the culture is such that people are just working less, including myself. It's just what everybody's doing. That's the cool thing to do is
Yeah.
fuck you, Gary V. You know, so
So
so my quick suggestion. I was wondering if you ever thought of this, but like having like a couple moments of just discomfort, like getting them to get uncomfortable with you. Um, like telling them, okay, we're gonna take a walk right now, and you take them for a ride, and you take them to somebody's house, and you make them knock on a door. Or like you hand them a phone and you say, I want you to call this number and say this script.
huh. Interesting.
Fuck it. Like car salesmen, sometimes when they apply for sales jobs at like a high profile dealership, especially when they have experience, the sales manager would be like, take one. Take a customer. Go ahead. Like,
Interesting.
let's see it, you know? And bro, some of them fucking knock it out of the park right then and there. And then the sales managers are like begging them to work, begging them. But the guy's like, listen, like I have two other interviews. I just wanted to come by, check you guys out, see what it's like over here, how many fucking dudes you guys have swarming the
Yeah.
lot. Like,
Before, yeah.
you know? So and then you got some other schmuck that'll come in like, yeah, I'm highly motivated, this and that. And the sales manager's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, how can you sell? Like right now. You know? Like I don't care if you're highly motivated. Everybody's highly motivated here.
Yeah, until they until they start. Everyone's
Yeah.
motivated to get the job until they start.
You're highly motivated. That's great. But how highly motivated are you when it actually comes time to get really, really uncomfortable?
That's a good one, man. I think I'm gonna start like figuring out a way of like, they want to join the team, they have some background. It's like, all right, cool. Let's
Let's just do what you're probably going to do on day one. Let me see how ready you are. You know? Let's see it.
and
You
it
have
wouldn't
no
even be
excuse.
like, even if they were like not that great at it, it's okay. I think if how they react, if they're like, okay, yeah, give me the phone.
Straight up. And you don't, maybe you could do it so that you just test, just fucking do it, just to test their reaction to see what happens when, their fight or flight kicks in. And when you tell them this, how they react and be like, don't worry, I'm just fucking around. I just wanted to see.
That's a good one. Yeah, yeah. Like, um, yeah, because if they're like, yeah, give it to me, yeah, let's go. But if they're like, well, oh, what do you want me to say? If then it's like, all right, yeah, this is maybe not a good fit.
Right. So, like, similarly with us,
Yeah, you
somebody
give
was
them a couple of days to like get in. Obviously, we can't get someone to come in for a couple of days because there's licenses involved and stuff. But yeah, that's a good little tidbit, man. I think I could figure out a way to just see.
spice it up. Yeah, spice up the interview process. It's like put them under a really practical situation.
Like, sell me this pen.
It's tough to sell pen. Have you ever been asked to sell somebody a pen?
No.
Remember we did this at some point? I think I did it. I didn't actually
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
we did do it. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot which episode it was. Probably in the beginning, but
Sell me this pen. That's a tough one, bro.
yeah. So it's like, huh? Yeah, that's a really, really good one, man. I think it's very difficult. Someone once said to me, I was at a conference, not they didn't say it to me, they were saying for the conference actually. They said, hire slow, fire fast. I'm
Why
sure
do you
you
think
read.
they said that?
So take your time in hiring, get to know someone, and then hire slow, fire fast. If someone keeps fucking up, the longer you keep them, the worse it goes for the culture of the company, right? Because they could be setting bad examples, they could be being toxic in the, like they say in sports, in the locker room, and they could be affecting more. So it's like be slow to hire, quick to fire, so that's always stuck in my mind. Like that's like, take it more seriously when you're bringing someone on.
Do you think that's the same? That it holds same weight for sports as well? Like when you have a really shitty player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. What about friends? Do you think that after a certain age, um, who you have as a friend also you should be quick to let go like as well? Like I have some pretty toxic friends. I have some fucking terrible, terrible friends.
Hopefully they're not listening.
I mean, even if they are, they know who they are at this point. I love them to death. It's just like what are you doing, bro?
Sorry, Anto. I know it's
No, no, no. Maybe. No, no, no,
yeah,
really, no.
yeah, no, I know.
I don't know.
Wink.
Just kidding. So you're just really confused. You don't know. So anyway, the thing is they really say I think that they really hold true when they say you are the average of your five friends.
Yeah. So I don't think you should fire your friends, but I think keeping a distance to them and then like be careful of the conversations, right? I wouldn't, if you're having issues at work, business, something's going on, I wouldn't go to them, right? Because you're just going to hear the negative, right? If they're toxic, usually. So I wouldn't stop hanging out. I wouldn't stop, but like, I would just be mindful of what conversations we're talking about and how much time you're spending with them, right? I wouldn't, like, if you're busy, you have a rough week, crazy week, I wouldn't go hang out with them because you're just already drained. And then here being more around more toxic people is just going to be worse. So I would just keep my distance, but then also, if they're a friend and a true friend and you value that friendship, still be there, right? It's just be careful of how much time and what your guys are talking about would be my opinion on that.
So I probably, Shant, that's very really good input. I probably look at what you just said as some employees too. Like I could have a really, really good employee, a lot of experience grilling, knows what he's doing, in the kitchen, but he's a he's a big pain in the ass. I actually had this a couple months ago, and I let him go because he said, "Do you want my help or not?" And I go, "No, no, straight up, no," because like he was trying to have his way. Anyway, the whole premise of the story is like I loved having him in the kitchen because he knew exactly what to do, but he was just a fucking moron. Like he had a lot of issues um, being told how to do something when he already had his way of doing it. For example, we have a contraption on the grill that rotates the skewers for us, and he had to put meat on the skewer before he put it on the machine. And he was getting frustrated about having to do that. He goes, "This isn't going to work for me." I'm like I didn't even realize like you ran the store. My bad.
Like, buddy, the machine, I can't.
Yeah, like how can we make this work for you, boss? It's
Like,
gonna work for me. I'm like,
do you want me to go buy a new machine? Like,
what do you think we should do? Yeah, yeah. Let me just get my dad real quick. Have him just confirm that we're not doing this anymore with you. So yeah, we had that happen, and I'm just like, dude, like I get it. You have experience on the grill. That's fine. But like I'm not cooking a steak. I'm cooking kebab. So like I need you to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
And like I was you'd be proud of me, bro. I was very, very flexible up until I had to fire his ass. I was like, okay, like I hear you. And I try to do this with everybody now. Is like, okay, like let me make sure I understand this correctly. I want to make sure that I'm hearing everything you're saying. And then I give you a couple seconds. I need to give you a couple seconds just to make sure that you're done, that you got your frustration out. Because all it really is, I think, is just frustration. They want to tell you how much they fucking hate how the fact that they have to do whatever they have to do the way that you want them to do it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, now I'm willing to compromise a little bit. What's the deal? What do you need me to do? It's like, all right, dickhead. Like that's it. That's all it took. You just want me to hear you bitch and moan for a couple seconds. And that's what it was. He goes, okay, all right, whatever. Like, let's just do this. And I'm like, all you really wanted to do is just tell me that you fucking don't want to do this. Don't, like, that's it.
And that's what it usually is. Most people just want to vent. I had one agent once call me because we have a partnership with Zillow. You've heard of Zillow, right?
No, what's Zillow? How do you
Zillow.com. Yeah. And we get leads from them. And this agent called me and was like, dude, we got to talk to Zillow. It's not working out for me. And I was like, okay, yeah, let me call
Can you
Zillow.
shut the fuck up? Can you not say that out loud? They might hear you.
I was like, okay. My first instinct was like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? Right. Like, but I was like, no, let me, I'm like, let's hear it out, man. Like, what's the problem? Like, let's talk about this. And he was just like, I don't like how the leads come in. And I think the system is all messed up. And I think we need to do, I was like, okay, so it's in my head. I'm like, it sounds like you want to be the CEO of Zillow, but it's not going to happen. And I tried to walk it back with like, hey man, like let's control what we control. We can't control Zillow. We're just a partnership. We have a partnership with them. We can't change their systems. They've probably spent hundreds of millions of dollars on these things. Can't really change it. And he's like, yeah, but it just, I'm like, yeah, but we can't. And he just couldn't understand. And I was like, all right, man, I gotta go. Like this conversation's not going anywhere. So
we can't do anything about Zillow's platform. We're taking it as it's coming, thankfully too. So please don't say this to anybody else. I
love Zillow, man. So it's just like sometimes, man, people just want to vent, and you just have to give them that time. So yeah. So if you had one tip, because I got to run, one tip on hiring something, like what is your like one tip for people?
Make sure that they know that you want to know up front how much experience they actually have. And it's okay if they don't. If you're willing to train them, let them know, but find out exactly how much experience they have before hiring them. And if that level of experience is enough for you to satisfy what you're hiring them for. So be ready, basically. Be ready with who and what you're hiring. Know what to expect from what you're hiring.
For me, my tip, and I got to run, would be don't sell them on a dream. Like don't oversell the dream. Because if you oversell them on like, hey, this is what our company has, this is what we do, oh, it's great, everything is great, and you oversell, you're going to always have to sell them on staying. So be more, hey, day to day, this is what to expect.
Have kids, they said.
Yeah. So I got to run, man. Betty's probably going to punch me in the face.
Let's get it, baby. Yeah. Good night, Shant.
Good night, everyone.